Welcome back. Hello, welcome back. Today's topic is about North Shewa Multi-Port Railway Corridor Roadmap to 2050. The roadmap below converts the vision, SWOT, environmental/social assessments and conceptual framework into a phased implementation program. Phase period main focus key activities Phase 1 2026-2030 planning and preparation expected outputs establish project authority, detailed feasibility studies, traffic and cargo demand studies, topographic/geotechnical surveys, environmental and social assessments, route options, port/country negotiations, financing strategy Phase 2 2030-2035 Debre Burhan Hub and First Con. Action bankable feasibility studies, preferred alignments, institutional framework, and investment plan develop Debre Burhan Dry Port/Logistics Center, improve feeder roads, design and begin priority Debre Burhan, Addis/Shajar Adama connection, establish industrial/logistics zones Phase 3 2035-2040 Djibouti and Berbera divers. Ification functional logistics hub and connection to national railway network optimize connection to existing Adama, Djibouti railway, advance Aisha, Berbera connection, develop customs, container, and freight facilities Phase 4 2040-2045 Northern Corridor. 2 Eastern Maritime gateways and increased freight diversification develop/advance Debre Burhan, Woldia, Medema, Port Sudan Corridor, coordinate Ethiopia, Sudan border and customs systems, develop northern dry ports and logistics centers Phase 5 2045-2048 Red Sea and Southern Ocean's Northern International Railway Corridor and additional Red Sea access feasibility/update studies for Massawa, Assab, Lamu, and Mombasa, select corridors according to demand, financing and political conditions, develop priority sections Phase 6 2048-2050 network integration and optimization. Additional strategic maritime alternatives integrate L viable corridors, upgrade signaling/electrification, digitalize customs and freight tracking, optimize tariffs and schedules, establish regional logistics platform 2050 plus beyond 2050 expansion and modernization. Integrated multi-port railway and logistics network capacity expand. Zion, additional branch lines, advanced automation, high-capacity freight systems and continuous climate adaptation priority approach. CT Roadmap Priority 1. Project. Debre Burhan L. Logistics/dry port target period 2026 to 2035 strategic purpose long-term globally competitive railway system priority left. L. Establish North Shewa Central Freight Hub 2-3 Debre Burhan rightward arrow Addis/Shajar rightward arrow Adama rightward arrow Djibouti integration 2028 to 2038 2030 to 2038 connect North Shewa to the national railway system. Utilize existing international railway infrastructure 4 5 6 7 8 9 Dire Dawa rightward arrow Aisha rightward arrow Berbera Debre Burhan rightward arrow Woldia rightward arrow Medema rightward arrow Port Sudan Woldia rightward arrow Mikel rightward arrow Massawa Adama rightward arrow Afar rightward arrow Azab southern Ethiopia rightward arrow Moyle rightward arrow Lama Moyle rightward arrow Kenya rightward arrow Mombasa 2032 to 2042 2035 2047 2040 to 2050 2040 to 205 0 2040 to 205 0 Establish a second Eastern Maritime Gateway. Create Northern International Access Devil. Up Northern Red Sea Alternative Evaluate/develop Eastern Red Sea Alternative Connect to Kenya/Lapset System 2045, 2050 plus. Additional Indian Ocean Gateway. Implementation Roadmap by Sector. Sector 2026 to 2030 2030 to 2040 2040 to 2051. Railway Feasibility and Design Priority Construction Network Integration and Upgrades 2. Ports Port Agreements and Studies Djibouti/Berbera Integration Sudan/Eritrea/Kenya Diversification 3. Logistics Debre Burhan Dry Port Planning Dry Port plus Warehouses plus Terminals Regional Logistics Network 4. Agriculture Cargo Mapping Collection Centers and Agro-Processing Export-Oriented Agro-Industrial System 5. Industry Industrial Zone Planning Manufacturing and Processing Expansion Railway-Oriented Industrial Clusters 6. Road Feeders Identify priority feeder routes Upgrade major feeders Complete multimodal network 7. Social consultation and baseline studies Local employment and skills programs Inclusive regional development A. Enviro Baseline EIA/ESIA Mitigation and Restoration Climate Resilient Network 9. Technology Digital design standards signaling, tracking, and e-customs AI/smart logistics and automation 10. Finance PPP and financing framework construction financing revenue optimization and reinvestment 11. Regional cooperation agreements and diplomacy cross-border implementation integrated regional railway operations key milestones year. Milestone 2026 Establish North Shore Railway Development Framework 2027 Complete Preliminary Corridor and Cargo Demand Studies 2028 Complete Priority Feasibility and Environmental/Social Studies 2030 Secure Financing and Approved Priority Debre Berhan Logistics Project 2032 Begin Major Infrastructure Implementation 2035 Debre Berhan Logistics Hub enters initial operation 2038 North Shewa National Railway Connection targeted for operation, subject to feasibility and financing 2040. Djibouti Corridor fully integrated into North Shewa Logistics System 2042 Berbera Corridor targeted for operational integration, subject to bilateral agreements and project readiness 2045 Port Sudan/Northern Corridor reaches major implementation stage 2048 Evaluate and select additional Eritrea/Kenya corridors according to demand and feasibility 2050 Integrated North Shewa Multiport Railway and Logistics Network Governance and Monitor. ING Roadmap Area Key KPI by 2050. 1. Railway construction km completed and operational 2. Freight annual tons transported by rail 3. Containers annual TEUs handled 4. Port diversification number of functioning international gateways 5. Logistics average cargo dwell time 6. Cost average freight cost per ton km 7. Employment direct and indirect jobs created 8. Local participation percentage of local procurement and employment 9. Agricultural freight transported by rail 10. Industrial investment along railway corridor 11. Environment CO2 emissions avoided and land restored 12. Social households benefiting from improved connectivity 13. Safety railway accidents per million train km 14. Financial sustainability operating revenue versus operating expenditure 15. Regional integration cross-border freight volume. 2050 roadmap logic. 2026 to 2030 plan rightward arrow feasibility rightward arrow environmental/social studies rightward arrow financing down arrow 2030 to 2035 build the hub rightward arrow Debre Berhan dry port rightward arrow logistics rightward arrow national connection down arrow 2035 to 2040 connect the east rightward arrow Djibouti plus Berbera down arrow 2040 to 2045 connect the north rightward arrow Woldia rightward arrow Medema rightward arrow Port Sudan down arrow 2045 to 2050 diversify rightward arrow Massawa plus Azab plus Lamu/Mombasa where justified down arrow 2051 North Shewa hub rightward arrow multiple railway corridors rightward arrow multiple ports rightward arrow integrated regional economy. Thank you, see you soon.